What's going on, everybody? The name is AO, the continent is 200, the clan is 1. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 3 things I wish I knew before starting Chief Almighty. Some things that'll save you guys a lot of time, potentially a lot of money if you're a spender such as myself, or just a lot of headache. So I've noticed basically after playing this game for around 2 or 3 months with my team here, that there's not really a lot of content on Chief Almighty. Be that, graphical guides, user submitted is really what I'm focusing on, or YouTube videos, or kind of charts, tips like that. So decided, we'll be starting some Chief Almighty content, basically guides, tips, education, fun, fighting, whatever it may be. So if you guys enjoy Chief Almighty, if you play Chief Almighty, if you enjoy the content, or you're just here from some other games, such as Last Shelter, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. So number 1, the first tip that I wish I knew in this game before playing or before seriously investing time and money is resources, and how to allocate your resources, what to allocate your resources on, and how to really just use and understand resources. So if you've played a war game before, you know that resources are always going to be an issue in the beginning, or something that you really need to focus on in the beginning, and then they kind of teeter off as you progress and as the game goes on. In this game, however, you need resources basically throughout the entire life cycle of your base, for the most part. Once you get really, really old, then obviously resources aren't that handy. So the first thing that I like to do, or that I recommend new players doing, by the way, if you are a new player and you want to play with me on our continent, you certainly can. It's still a pretty fresh and new continent. We don't have any continent versus continent battles or anything like that, at least at the time of the recording of the video, where, a friendly clan, we win a lot of events and stuff. We have a lot of pay players, some of the biggest pay players in the game. So if you want to play with us, check out the link in the description. It's a custom link from myself, from Chief Almighty. You'll also get a little, neat little rewards also for using the link as well. So if you plan on downloading it, you might as well get some extra bonuses, right? In any case, like I said, the first thing that I recommend players do mostly is rush your tribe center. So your tribe center is basically your base, or in other games, your city, or, in this game, it's just called the tribe center. There are 35 overall levels to your tribe center, level 1 through 30, and then there's an additional legend levels. So legend 1 all the way up to legend 5. As you can see here, I'm legend 3. Rushing your tribe center is well worth it. And there are 2 reasons for that. One, it's going to use a lot of resources, like I said, but you gain a lot of resources. So you can build up all your resource plots, like your wood, or your lumber mill, your hunting ground, which is for your food, your gold mines and your quarries and things for stone and gold, obviously. You can level those up a lot quicker, and you'll just gain a lot more resources. Also, along with leveling up your tribe center, you're going to get invocation. Invocation is basically research, and you'll get more resources, even more production, things like that. So rushing your tribe center is never a bad option. I generally recommend rushing that before you focus on troops, before you focus on traps, before you focus on basically anything else, is to just rush your tribe center as quickly as you can. Whether or not... however quick you do it doesn't really matter, but just getting it out of the way is definitely worth it. And there are some milestones that you'll be reaching, like 26 and further. So back to resources, there are basically 2 concerns that you want to have. One is building farms. So building farms in this game is very, very important, as it is in most war games. Very, very easy to build farms in this game, and it's very worth your time. So there are 2 different types of resources: vulnerable resources and boxed resources, basically, or I guess safe resources. Vulnerable resources are the resources that are going to be plundered if another base attacks your base and they beat it. So for example, if I attacked this player here, they're obviously in my alliance, so I can't. But if I did and I beat them, I would be able to take whatever amount of vulnerable resources from them that I can. So with that said, as you can see, obviously I have 491.4 million that are unable to be taken. And the same goes with your farms. So you can build your farm and continue to attack your farm, which is a lot different than most games. In most games, you really want to build your farm up to a certain level and then start attacking. In this game, you can start attacking immediately. Now, what is a farm? It's basically just an extra account where all you care about is resources. So all you do is you rush your tribe center and you rush your production plants and you gather or collect resources. So definitely build your farms. It's not just about tribe center or your building level either. Your research takes a ton of resources, a ton. Your Temple of Wisdom, so your invocation researches take a lot. There are 3 different types of research. As most games know it as research, so that's why I'm saying it. There's Elder Lore or your Tribal Embassy. These also take resources, and then your Civilization research also takes a lot of resources. But also, the troops in this game take a ton of resources. So that's why I said the kind of resource concern lasts a lot longer in this game than in most games because of your troops. If you plan on training a lot of troops, which I mean everyone basically should eventually, right? You're going to need decent resources. So make your farms; they'll last for a long time, and you'll just end up saving so much time and money. Don't really buy resource packs, but that's for you to decide on your own. So that's about it, is managing your resources for tip number 1. Tip number 2, we're going to be talking about value. And so value is basically, for the most part, it's packages. I'll be kind of talking about how to use your money, how to extend the value of your money or stretch your money. But also there are some other kind of things that you want to do to maximize the value of the items that you currently have. So when we talk about money, a lot of players who join these games, who have played other war games, for example, are well aware of the costs associated to mobile war games or just mobile games in general. They cost a lot of money depending on how competitive you want to be, or how up at the top you want to be, or I guess for some, how much money you have. In that case, maximizing your money is one of the best things that you can do, if not the best thing that you could do. And it's very difficult for newer players to understand the value of packages. It was especially difficult for us when we first started playing the game. We came into the game obviously knowing that we're going to spend quite a lot of money. So the very simple guideline that I have for you guys today is the cheaper the pack, the better the pack. And that goes across pretty much the whole board. There are some instances that I'll bring up later where that kind of differs. So as you can see here, this package is $4.99. Don't really worry about whatever this number says. It's all kind of phony baloney. But the package is $4.99. Now, if I go ahead and buy this package, I'll get 1,000 Hero Souls and 120 Moonstones, as well as some other stuff, silver artifact coin, and a bunch of other crap. Once I buy this, it'll go up to the $10 package, and I'm not going to get double. So I'm not going to get 2,000 Hero Stones and 240 Moonstones and etc. I'm probably only going to get like 1,250 Hero Souls. So, a quarter increase for double the cost. And that's felt across the board. If I buy this heroine fragment, heroine, whatever the damn word is, it's not going to double. It's pretty much going to go up a quarter. Then it'll go up to $25, $50, $100 is basically the max package that you can buy. The $100 is generally going to give you the worst value. So what I recommend players doing before they really understand all the different items, there are a ton of different resources and items that you need in this game. Before you even really understand, but you're committed to spending money, as a lot of folks are. So if you're getting offended by the fact that I'm saying spending money while being ignorant of the resources, I apologize. I know a lot of players are going to be free-to-play players, but that's just the reality of the situation. If you're planning on doing that, I basically recommend blindly buying the $5 packages, and that's it. Don't start spending your money on the $100 stuff yet. We'll get into that into a little bit, but you can basically blindly buy the $5 packages, and every single item in there is going to be useful for a long time. Eventually, you will reach caps where you no longer need those items, for example, these artifact coins, but that's going to be well into the future. So go ahead, put on the old blinders and start swiping that credit card on the $5 packages. Save up all your items. It doesn't even really matter what you gain. You're going to just save them up, and then over time, you're going to start using them. So that's basically my recommendation to you. The smaller the package, the better. And in general, buying all the $5 packages every day is worth your time, especially these kind of different packages. So these change every day. It's probably going to cost you, there's generally like anywhere from 10 to 15 $5 packages every day in these. And then there's, 5 or so in some other spots. So anywhere from $50 to $100 every single day. And now obviously just tweak that to however however much money you want to spend. You can go ahead and tweak those values. I'm never going to tell anybody how much money they should spend or choose not to spend. You could be completely free to play in this game. That's not a problem. It's not like over the top pay to win, something that you've never seen in a mobile game. It's pretty much the same. On top of your pack value, there's value in using your items. There's extra additional value in using your items that a lot of people neglect early on. Even players neglect later in the stages of the game. So what I mean by that is there are oftentimes events that take place throughout the game. There are a ton of events, honestly. The developers of this game, and one of the reasons that we were so attracted to this game is the developers' kind of generosity, at least in terms of packs and using your resources. A lot of games, it's like you just buy a pack, you just get that. In this game, you buy a pack, and then you get like a bunch of little things to collect. While it doesn't really change anything, it's just it just kind of increases your dopamine levels, your serotonin levels from clicking like, oh my God, I got this, I spent $5 and I was able to collect 5 different events. So that's what I'm talking about. There are different events throughout the game where if you purchase something, so Knowledge of the Elders, for example, if you purchase 25,000 gems or more, you get to collect, some extra goodies. So this is exactly what I mean. Now, some players are going to get kind of roped into this and see, oh, this ends in 2 days. That means I have to do this, right? I have to spend 25,000 gems. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out. Don't fall into that trap. That's always going to be a good marketing or advertising trap. These events occur pretty much all the time. So if you miss one, it's not going to be a big deal at all. It's really not going to matter. But do it when you're able to do it. So I would recommend, let's say your budget is $100 a week or a day or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Let's say it's $100 a week. Making it so that you spend $100 in the week, in a week where where a special offer exists, something that's worth it, is going to be a lot better than spending that, when these offers don't exist, right? But again, these happen all the time. So don't really concern yourself over it. Don't be like, oh my God, I need to purchase 25,000 gems right now. Otherwise, I'm going to miss this Nimble Chest 30. Like, it's not going to be a big deal. Some events are definitely better than others, but you'll sort of figure that out as time goes on or as my videos increase. And then there is another side of things as well. So there are some events where, like Rising Troops, where if you use your items, you're going to get extra bonuses. So in this case, you use these kind of troop rank up items that are called Rising Cores. You're going to get extra bonuses. So here we can see if you use 120,000 points worth, you'll get this fiery pterosaurs gift, and you can get like free March skin essentially, or some other stuff, knowledge crystals or whatever. So that's why I said buying those $5 packs kind of indiscriminately and then using them when those events occur, like saving up all your Rising Cores. Don't use them every single day once you get them. Save them up until an event like this occurs. Then you're going to use them. Then you are going to get double the rewards. And this is a problem that I still see old players make, is they get an item, they use it right away. It's definitely just going to be you're going to lose out on so much extra value. So just be patient. And that's better than value. I could go on and on and on forever. If you guys really want to know like what I think about each individual pack, I'm the kind of guy who loves numbers and figuring that out, basically figuring out value and efficiency. So I mean, I could look at this pack and say, oh, okay, we get 1,500 male hero fragments, 1,300,000 hero XP. Do a little calculation and say, okay, yeah, this is definitely worth the package. Whereas sometimes a package like maybe this one, for example, I'm not saying this, but this one, for example, it's $10. Maybe even this is worth it, right? But yet this one where you get 1,000 hero souls and 120 moonstone and this other stuff might not be worth it. So if you're interested in stuff like that, please just let me know in the comments. I would be glad to share some of my Excel spreadsheets. Yes, I am that guy. So that's tip number 2 is value, and that goes for a long time. Basically, the guideline that I have for you: cheaper, better, save your resources, use them wisely, use them patiently, use them when there's an event. You're going to double everything that you have. And then tip number 3 is heroes. So this is something that I made basically all of these mistakes, to be quite honest. I was buying packages that definitely weren't worth it. I was like, okay, this $50 resource pack, like that looks pretty good. This $100 VIP point pack, like, yeah, yes sir, sign me up. It's got to be good, right? It's expensive. No, it's not. It's not good. It's expensive. Yes, not good. So again, that's a tip that I really wish I knew. And then the last one is going to be talking about heroes. Briefly, I'm not going to cover in depth in heroes, but I'm going to kind of give some guidance to early stage hero sort of accessibility. So what you want to do with your heroes, you'll see that there's all these different types of heroes: bound heroes, development heroes, battle heroes. They all have different abilities, anywhere from pretty much most heroes have 5 abilities. There are some heroes that have 6 abilities, but for the most part, let's just consider the 5 abilities. Their first 2 abilities on most heroes, especially the battle heroes, are going to be passive abilities. Now, what this means, you can see here it says passive. Some of them are kind of have typos or whatever, and they don't actually say this passive, but they are passives. So sometimes it gets a little confusing. But for the most part, your first 2 abilities are basically always going to be passives. Here you can see on Grim, on Sekko, your first 2 are passives. Then the ones after are either active or squad skills, like this one right here, increase troop HP when leading a squad, or they're going to be passives, and that just kind of depends. So what I recommend doing with your heroes and with your hero fragments, this game is not a gacha, meaning you don't get items and then have a chance like in FIFA or in Genshin Impact, for example. Those are gacha games where it's basically gambling. This game, you just get a raw amount of fragments. So I have, in this case, 12,880 male hero fragments, and then I just convert them into whatever hero I want, and that's just the exact number of fragments that I get for those heroes. So there's no gacha element involved in this game. It's basically just, do you have enough fragments? Yes or no. So once you gather all these fragments, once you gain these fragments, again, there's going to be events where you can use fragments, so you should probably save them for those events, but if you're impatient, it's okay. Unlock basically every single hero level 1. And this is very different from most games. In most games, you pretty much want to maximize your main heroes and ignore everybody else because you're not going to use them, right? But in this game, the passives are global. They go across everything. It doesn't matter which hero you use. It doesn't even matter if you use heroes. The passives are global. So in this case, Rabbi, increases barbarian defense by 5%, increases troop defense by 5%. So just having him at rank 2, I'm getting both of these bonuses, even though I'm not using him. He's a level 1, I don't use him. I'm getting all of the bonuses from him. So that's what you want to do. You want to get all your heroes to rank 1, and then basically get all your heroes to rank 2 when you can, obviously. It's going to take time, but, it'll happen. Like I said, they basically all have passives in their first 2. Some of them are going to have passives in their 3rd, but it's unlikely. Most of the time they'll have their passives in their 4th or 5th. So, and that takes a lot more. It increases exponentially from there on. So that's basically the basic guidance. Get all your heroes rank 1, then get all your heroes rank 2, and then you can focus on kind of your squad heroes. Squad heroes are the ones that kind of lead your troops basically. So only focus on those after. Now there's another aspect to heroes that I'll talk about very briefly. I'm not going to dive into it deep, but there's constellations or zodiacs, hero zodiacs. These also give you additional benefits, and a lot of these are going to be passives as well. For example, Increases behemoth defense +5. This is a passive. It doesn't say it, but it increases your behemoth defense +5 across the board. Some of them are going to be only when this hero is leading a squad, and it will say that when leading a squad. So you want to look through your constellations and basically see, okay, which ones are passives? Increases rider defense. That's a passive. How you unlock these is basically hero level. So at level 20, I'm going to be able to get +5 rider defense, +5 hunter attack, +5 behemoth defense, and +2% building speed increase. So just by leveling him up. Leveling up to level 20 doesn't take that much XP, but for some of these guys, you'll only need to level them up to, just level 5, for example, and then you get an extra 6,000 cave capacity. So you want to look at your constellations and figure it out from there. There's only 12 constellations or 12 zodiacs basically, so a lot of these are shared, so it's fairly easy. But yeah, in any case, go through your constellations, level up your heroes that way. As you can see, that's why my Davo or whatever is level 10, because I wanted this decreased training time for all troops. So I leveled him up to level 10, even though I don't use him. So that's another thing about heroes to consider is your hero XP. And again, I have kind of the same guidance as level up the heroes for your passives before focusing on leveling up your squad heroes. For example, Grim is level 41. 30.3 million XP is needed. Whereas in order to get Zucaris to level 5 so I can get increased gold production, it's 10,000. Or I don't even know what it is because I'm already at level 5. But to level 6, it's only 13,000. So, I mean, it's just absolutely insane. I guess if I wanted increased healing speed, I could, but I don't really care about healing speed at the moment because we're not really fighting. Anyway, so you can clearly see that it's enormous. You need an enormous amount of hero XP. Up to, I don't even want to know what it is to get your heroes up to level 50. By that time, you can get all your other heroes to probably level 25. So do that instead of getting your heroes to level 50. And again, like I said, I made mistakes, right? So I got my Grim up to level 41, wasted a ton of hero XP, where I still have all these guys down here that I could be getting extra bonuses from that I didn't do. So I know this video is getting pretty long. You guys can skip ahead or pause or go back or whatever you want if you need to hear something again. But the last thing on heroes, the last tip on heroes is your Hall of Heroes. Your Hall of Heroes, basically, you just get some extra bonuses if you have decent level heroes, and you can put them in these kind of slots. Now, not every hero is accessible for every slot. As you can see, my Alpha Defender here, I only have a couple options, right? So it's not like you can just use it's not like you can just rank up 8 5-star heroes and then use them in here. You kind of have to be a little bit specific. For the most part, this is just going to take you a long time. You really just need high-level heroes. But there are 2 things I want to talk about. One is Farouk and Daku. These are blue heroes that you can buy with gems. So you can buy these heroes exclusively with gems. They're not terribly expensive because they're blue. They don't really do anything other than... they don't really do anything, really. It's just kind of for your Hall of Heroes. So what I did is I bought those heroes using gems, both of those 2 blue heroes, using gems in the stores here. And then you're allowed to put them in your Hall of Heroes. You get a lot of bonuses from it, really. So even though these heroes aren't really too useful, I'm getting a ton of bonuses. I'm getting 3.5% training speed, march speed against wildlings, attack against wildlings, damage against. This is good early on before you're really strong. Farouk gives a lot better bonuses. Increased barbarian HP 16%, rider HP 16%, squad capacity 16,000. Like, this is so worth it. If you're not buying Farouk and he's not level 5 with your gems, you're just losing a ton of value. And then then the other tip basically for your Hall of Heroes is some of the heroes are going to be able to go into a few different slots. So for example, Leos or Laios or whatever. Laios can go in Master Builder, but he can also go in War Chief. War Chief is going to be better than Master Builder, or it's just going to give you better bonuses than Master Builder. Rider attack 17, decreased enemy troop defense 8.5, increased attack when attacking the tribe center 17. So the bonuses that you get from that are better than the bonuses that you get from Master Builder for the most part. However, if you're going to, do a big build, for example, your tribe center, then that's when you're going to want to swap that to Leos. And then you can dismiss him, put him in your war chief when you're battling. Right? So do you get the point? You can kind of, you're early on at least until you get everybody, rank 5 or whatever. You're going to want to swap your heroes around when you can. And then similarly for Farouk, it's basically the same thing. I can swap him in here. I can increase my Elder Lore learning speed when I'm doing a big Elder Lore research. So let's say it's 18 days. There's one that's like 60 days or something. So if it's a huge research like that, I'll switch my Prime Gatherer to Farouk, and then I'll start that research, and then I can switch it back. So then Farouk is giving me extra battle bonuses. So these are just 3 tips that I wish I knew. There are so many more tips that I wish I knew, and I'm still learning some every single day. But hopefully these 3 tips can help you guys, especially if you're a new player, but even older players. I still see a lot of players asking myself or others, or not figuring out or not using some of these tips in their day-to-day gameplay. So hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like I said, if you are new and you want to play with me, go ahead and download the link in the description. It's Chief Almighty. Pretty fun game. I've been enjoying it myself personally. And it's just something that the devs have provided for you guys to enjoy yourself with by using the download link below. All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you. If you want to continue watching these Chief Almighty videos, feel free to subscribe. I don't particularly care if you do or not. That's not really the point. But hey, if you don't like the content or you wish it was presented some way else, please leave that in the comments below. I will be doing a lot more and pretty regularly, so you will be seeing my face around if you watch YouTube. All right, guys, that's about it. Take care. Hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully you're staying safe. Be healthy out there. It is Thanksgiving in America, so if you're celebrating, happy Thanksgiving. All right, guys, that's about it. Take care. Peace.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up